Mike Diaz here, welcome back to the channel. And today we're discussing something very important. So I've been saying for a while now that these new lease rates for warehouses in the Inland Empire out here in Southern California are ridiculous. And it's gonna create a significant negative effect to the economy moving forward. Now, what if I told you that I had some evidence on that? Stay tuned to the channel. Big business is what is now buying a lot of real estate. You got these BlackRock guys, just these past couple of years with the new generation not wanting to buy homes, these big corporations are absorbing a lot of real estate. Now this real estate, once it's bought by a corporation, is not going back on the market. This is good. This asset belongs to them, and now that's a rental property. And there's a lot of rental properties out there on the market. We're talking about residential. And now the same thing is happening with commercial. There's a lot of, instead of small groups or family-owned buildings, now the majority, maybe 90% of them, are all institutions. And these guys, they saw the amount of demand for this type of real estate. But remember, we talked about it in another video that the demand came because of what happened during COVID, because of COVID's ripple effect, right? So now we had double the capacity at around 2021 of everything. And then things started kind of normalizing in 2022. But here we are when there was a high amount of demand for that extra capacity that we have, 2022, a lot of people started building. So here we are, 2023, we've overbuilt. Now construction has halted, banks are not lending any money out, and now what is happening? The demand for all this additional real estate is declining. Now, what's happening is you have a bunch of investment groups that already made the investments. They promised their shareholders a percentage, and now with this declining demand, rates are starting to decline, but they're still kind of holding strong at an expensive level. And the problem with that is that these investment firms, they have to somehow justify the investment that was made and then the profit that they promised the shareholder. And that's what's keeping prices still high. And who is it being kept by? Landlords, which is them, the investment banks and the investment firms, and real estate agents. Because of these increases in lease rates, what exactly do you think is going to happen? So we have a landlord or an investment firm that because of a bad investment, they increase their rates. Now, the point of this video is to reach out to those that can fight that. So currently, I am in the position to fight that. Now, everyone else that is in my position, if they don't fight that, if they accept the status quo, then we're going to pay these expensive rates. And what happens is now my rates are going to double next year, right? Not that much, not so much double as 100%, but maybe about 80%, 75%. Now that additional 75% in my rate is going straight to the customer in their storage fees. So what is that customer going to do? Now they're paying extra to store their product here. Now they're going to charge extra to all these retailers or directly to you, the consumer, to purchase their goods, because they're paying extra in everything. When we raise the minimum wage, what happens? For example, like McDonald's. Usually those folks in the food service make minimum wage. So if we increase minimum wage, then now a hamburger is more expensive to make. They're going to charge everyone more for what they're making. So the same thing is going to what our customers are going to do to their big box retailers, to whoever they sell to the end consumer. They're going to raise their prices. So the proof that I tell you that I had was, I just got an article that came through the desk, and it's talking about how ocean freight carriers, these are the guys with the big boats, big ships that carry all those containers on it and sail across the ocean with all the goods going from country to country. These guys during the pandemic or after the pandemic, during that big inflated period of demand and everybody was making money. So what happened with those guys? They went from charging about $4,000 to $5,000 per container, and I remember talking to customers paying up to $32,000 per container. Now, their cost did go up because they were leasing ships, additional ships for all the additional capacity at more expensive rates. So that's where supply and demand came in, right? There was not so much supply, lots of demand for those ships, and the ship carriers or whoever the people that own the ships are, they increased their rates. And these companies needing those ships, they leased those big boats at those rates. And then what did? They increased the ocean freight. So here we are, 2023, right in the middle of 2023, we had talked about that transportation rates already settled and they're back to their old rates. They're back to the $4,000, $5,000 a container. So what does that mean? These ocean carriers have already leased these boats at these very tall rates, but they're not making $30,000, $20,000 per container anymore. Now they're making $4,000, $5,000 per container, what they were making before, what the freight rates should be. So now these guys are not making enough money to sustain these new leases. So what's gonna happen? We're gonna start seeing some defaults. We're gonna start seeing some, what we're seeing is tactical cancellations. And I've said for a while now that the same exact thing is gonna happen in warehousing. So in 6 months, I have to be in a new home. That means we're looking for places now and we're negotiating now. And whatever I negotiate now, that's what I'm gonna be paying at the start of the year and at the end of next year when we know that the market's there's gonna be a significant decline in the rates that are being charged today. So what happens in a year and a half from now or 2 years from now when rates are back to the 30, 40, 50 cents and LMS is paying $1.50, $1.60, and even $1.70. So it's not only us, it's gonna be a lot more warehouses, a lot more 3PLs. And there's a lot of new guys coming into the market right now, which is a good thing. Because there's a lot of guys right now in the market that just came in, they just started around a year ago, they don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're probably gonna run into a brick wall. And what happens during bad times, you have a wishy-wash of the weaker businesses or the ones that really don't know what the hell's going on, and it creates opportunities for the strong ones, for the ones that do know what's going on. So it's kind of, we're seeing it already on the backside, on the transport side. We're gonna have the same exact thing happen to the warehouse side. And I mentioned earlier that it's being, why the rates are like that. One are because of the landlords and the investment firms. And then I mentioned slimeball real estate agents.
I mean, yeah, I was struck by the net effective rent change that you guys talked about on your earnings call, up 87%, especially strong in Phoenix, up 137%, North Jersey, up 150%, Southern California, 181%. Why, in particularly those markets where it's strong, why is it up so much? How can those tenants afford to pay that much more?
Well, as I mentioned at the beginning of this conversation, the last 2 to 3 years have been exceptional in terms of demand for our product and therefore pricing of our product. At the same time,
I got, so we made a video last week about rates coming down. And I mentioned, hey, it's time to beat up these landlords. So what am I doing? What are we doing here to beat these guys up is I'm talking to landlords already and I'm offering them $1.20 while they're asking for $1.40. I'm cutting them by 20 cents. And they're trying to come up back to 130. I'm gonna keep offering 120, 121, maybe come back to 119 because they're not giving me what I want, but I'm gonna keep beating them up. And what that does, that says, they're charging whatever they wanna charge. What is the value? Who determines the value? If you ask me, the value is determined by the consumer. The value of what you have for sale, it depends on what am I willing to pay for it, if that makes sense. So I am not willing to pay $1.70, $1.60, because I know that's not what it's gonna be next year. And it's not worth that. Right now, I'm willing to pay $1.20. That is it. And when I bring it down to $1.20, I'm gonna bring it down to $1.10 and to another dollar. I'm gonna bring it down as hard as I can, as fast as I can until 2024, whatever it is at 2024, that's what we probably have to settle for. But I'm calling on all you other warehouse owners, all you other guys looking for real estate. Forget about what your agent tells you. There's a few agents out there that are now talking about that they represent the tenant. Well, I'm just hearing about that as within the last year. Lord knows if it's true or not, but these guys are supposedly beating up landlords and representing the tenant. Because remember, when a real estate agent rents or leases out a landlord's property, it behooves him to get as much as he can for that property because he's going to charge a percentage. So the more he rents it for, or he gets it leased for, the more he's going to make on the percentage. So now what we're looking to do is we're looking to beat them up so the price can come down. If landlords all their buildings are out there for $1.40 and everybody's offering them $1.20, then they know they're not going to get $1.40 for it, and they're going to bring their prices down. So that's what we're trying to do here at LMS, and we're trying to call on all you other guys to do the same. Because again, if we're paying these high rates, that's as much as we have to increase everybody else's rate by, and then thus it's going to affect the end consumer. And it's not going to stop there. It's going to keep going. We're going to see, other things that happen probably with the real estate, with the residential real estate market. We're already starting to see buildings in Los Angeles. It's commercial real estate, but small offices. We're already starting to see defaults on that. That's terrible for the economy. It's terrible for jobs. And we're dealing with a ripple effect that we know the tsunami is coming, and these real estate agents, they're cheering on these landlords that are asking for ridiculous rates. They're egging them on instead of bringing them back to reality. Like this is where it should be. Let's ask for a fair market rate. That's the term that is used, a fair market rate. And if you ask me, these rates are fair at all. It's not fair for the consumer, it's not fair for the customer, and it's not fair for the 3PL, quite frankly. Because, again, we're going to have to increase everybody's rates and everything's going to go up. And I'm not in business to pay for other people's storage either. So fair market rates, guys, fair market rates to start beating these bozos up. So I got an email the other day after we released this video of the updates on the market, and a gentleman, I'm not going to mention names or companies, but a gentleman said, Mike, I am representing a small landlord. It's not a firm, it's not a family, it's an individual landlord. His building is paid off, so he doesn't need to charge these ridiculous rates. And he posted some rates, and they were on the low end. And this guy was getting beat up by multiple real estate agents, man. They were calling him, talking about, hey, you're screwing up the market, this and this and that. But check this out. Let's on all corners of this, landlords, get your perspectives right. This is going a different way. 3PL owners, don't give them what they want. All right, the power is ours. We got the money, they got the building. Don't give them what they want. All right, and you bozo real estate agents, stop egging these landlords on. We're watching you. And then those of you real estate agents that are out there representing tenants, hey, do your thing. But I'm calling on you guys. Beat these guys up. Let's lower these rates. All right. We'll talk soon. Until the next time, remember, like, share, and subscribe if you like the content. If you know anyone that's in the market right now, please forward this to them. Let's start beating them up, guys. All right. We will see you until next time. Mike out.